Bonjour.
Nice to meet you again. Last time, we were able to learn about the second verbal group, with its very specific endings. Today, we are going to learn about the last of the verbal groups, the third group, which is, you will see, particularly irregular. I will, therefore, show you the most used verbs in everyday life, as well as their specificities. For example,
Pouvoir, vouloir, savoir, prendre,
this verb, in particular, is the root of verbs,
comprendre, apprendre,
and which are conjugated, like the verb to take. Now, other example of third group verbs.
avoir besoin, devoir.
In this group, you have three different endings. Pay close attention to it. The most common is as follows, which are silent, and,
On, et,
which is silent. Like for example, for the verbs,
savoir,
or,
devoir.
which are conjugate, as follows.
Je sais, tu sais, il sait, elle sait. Nous savons, vous savez, ils savent, elles savent.
For this one, there is a trick that can be reused in most irregular verbs in French. Observe the three singular persons.
Je dois, tu dois, il doit, elle doit.
The base of the conjugated verb is quite different compared to the base of the infinitive. Now, observe the first two plural persons.
Nous devons, vous devez.
As you can see, the base of the conjugated verb is the same as that of the infinitive. And finally, let's look at the third person plural.
Ils doivent, elles doivent.
As you can see, we mixed there the singular base with the last consonant of the plural base with
Nous,
plus the ending. Most irregular verbs have this logic. It will be, for you, a great trick to help you. Now, a little less common ending, which is specific, in general, with verbs ending in
dr,
is as follows, which are silent, and
on, et.
which is silent. Like for example, for the verbs,
Prendre,
and its derivatives,
comprendre,
and.
apprendre.
Let's start conjugating this verb, and you'll be able to conjugate the other two with no problem.
Je prends, tu prends, il prend, elle prend. Nous prenons, vous prenez, ils prennent, elles prennent.
Now, we are going to look at the least common of all endings, which is, however, used on very useful basic verbs. These endings are as follows, which are silent, and,
On, et.
which is silent, such as the verb,
Vouloir,
and.
pouvoir.
For these two verbs, we will be able to use the logic of irregular verbs seen previously, like for example, in the three-person singular.
Je veux, tu veux, il veut, elle veut.
Whose base is very different from that of its infinitive. Then, we will continue with the first two person of the plural by taking up the base of the infinitive.
Nous voulons. Vous voulez.
After having taken this into account, we will be able to take up the base of the singular with
Je.
then, in the base with,
Nous.
we will take up the last consonant there to finally put the ending there, which gives us
Ils veulent. Elles veulent.
Let's continue with the same logic for the verb can. Pay attention to the structure.
Je peux. Tu peux. Il peut. Elle peut. Nous pouvons. Vous pouvez. Ils peuvent. Elles peuvent.
Now, for example number 1, here's some practical example sentences.
Je sais parler français. Tu as besoin de comprendre. Il doit bien manger. Nous avons besoin d'apprendre.
Now, for the colon number 2.
Je comprends mon voisin. Tu apprends la musique. Elle prend son bus. Vous comprenez la leçon?
And finally, for the colon number 3.
Je veux aller à Paris. Nous voulons voyager. Tu peux prendre une nourrice. Ils peuvent me comprendre.
That's all for today. If you have any questions regarding this lesson, let me know in the comment bar. I will answer you as soon as possible. Of course, if need be, let's not forget the little kittens. Then, I tell you, see you next time.